Hi there, your computer friend Connie here. Welcome to a tip on working remotely and using accounting software. So I'm going to demo for you an example of QuickBooks. QuickBooks Online is a program that I've been teaching and supporting and using for many years now. I love it and I think it's so automated and helps us be so efficient. So I'm just going to give you a quick little tour of what it can do. So what you're seeing is a sample company in QuickBooks that I've opened up here. And this is the dashboard that just kind of gives me a feel for where do things look for the month in terms of invoices, expenses, what's the profit and loss look like, where are sales at, and of course, what do my bank accounts and credit cards look like? So this is just a quick little dashboard that lets me see what's going on. From here, I'm going to go into the business of the day, which is recording my expenses and then recording my sales. So let's start with expenses. So within expenses, what I would do is just look at, whenever you expense something, maybe you wrote a check or use your credit card, use a debit card, what you're doing is really just doing a new transaction for that expense. So I can just go to the new transaction here, hit expense, and then what happens is once I put in where I purchased something from, it gives me the option of saying whether I purchased by a credit card, and these things you'd have to populate ahead of time, or I purchase with a checking account or bank account. So these are the things you'd set up and customize so that makes sense for your business, but just so you can see how how easy it is for you to populate this information. Right, so let's say I bought it from a supply. I bought some supplies from Supplies Depot. Let's go with that. And then notice when I type that in, it already had the credit card. I can leave it at that, or I can say it's my bank account that I used. It has today's date automatically. I can change this information here if I want. And it fills in the bottom area. And the reason it does that is because if I've ever entered an expense in the past, it remembers for the next time. So I can certainly change that if I want. I can add more lines here. But the coolest thing is, if it's the same kind of vendor, I probably have the same kind of expenses. So it's pre-populating. It's making it very fast for me to do this entry. So I'm just going to save that and close it. All right, so that was just a quick expense example. Let's go to an example of a sale. The sales example I have here, I want to show you how you can do an invoice and have it actually check mark a box for cards so that you can get paid instantly with someone's credit card. So there is setup involved in doing this. You just set this up one time with QuickBooks, and once it's set up, then from then on you can have a hyperlink in your invoices where people click on that hyperlink, put in their credit card information, and you're getting paid, minutes after you send them the invoice. So that's pretty cool for collecting money a little faster these days and no need for any other service. QuickBooks service for collecting credit cards is pretty much comparable to any other credit card system. I think it's 2.9%. Plus there might be a 25-cent charge per transaction. You may want to double check those rates, but it's thereabouts. Okay, so I wanted to make sure you saw that. And of course, I can email this invoice to my customer, and I actually can keep track of whether they've looked at the invoice or not. It'll tell me that. And it'll tell me how many times they looked at it. I can send reminders to them, send statements to them. So very nice, very automated for doing invoicing. And by the way, if there's any regular invoicing you need to do, you can set up templates so they can go out automatically for you as often as you need them to. So if you invoice your clients every month, you can set out invoice templates so that it automatically goes out once a month. And again, credit cards can be set up in advance too, so that you can get paid by that credit card payment. The next screen I have us in is in the banking screen. And this is probably one of the biggest advantages to going to something like QuickBooks Online, is that with QuickBooks Online, you can have an instant feed from your bank account and your credit card accounts into your QuickBooks. So what that means is right after you go to the coffee place or the supplies depot, it will actually show those expenses in here. And if for some reason it isn't showing minutes later, there's a button up here where you can just, this one says file upload, but it should be saying update. You would just hit update and it would update to the latest transactions that you could see on your bank account. So as long as you can log into your bank account, you can get QuickBooks to log in and get the transactions for you. So what you're seeing here is, so Supplies Depot, for instance, it already knows what the category or expense is. It knows the GST. So I can just hit add and it will add that expense into my QuickBooks. Just really quick. And I could even do a whole bunch of them at a time. And as soon as I add it a couple of times, it actually wants to know, maybe I should make a rule so that I don't have to keep adding it manually. It'll just do it automatically for me. So I can even say create a rule. And then something like this one, Coffee Place, it doesn't know who that is. So once I go in there and click on it, I can fill in the supplier, the category, all this information. Once I've done it once, every time it sees the word Coffee Place, it would fill in that same information. And again, I can make a rule for it. So getting your expenses into your accounting system is so fast. This is so automated. This can save you so much time, and collecting on those invoices is going to be so fast as well. So thanks for watching this demonstration of QuickBooks Online. I'm showing you a sample company here. If you have any questions about setting up your QuickBooks or maybe moving over into this system, give me a shout. This is something I do on a regular basis, and I love helping people with their accounting. Okay, thanks. Take care.